Hello and welcome back to Norfolkfords. It's a little bit dark for the minute. We are up nice and early, 7 o'clock, and we're getting straight on with a little bit of ploughing on the Belmont field. So I've got the 6230 12 plate with the 3 furrow lempkin that we borrowed from Philip Collison 4 years ago for a ploughing match. You ought to check that video out. That was on a 7710 Ford, beautiful little tractor, absolutely gorgeous condition, and that was fun ploughing with that. But we borrowed this plough off him then, and it's an old wrecked plough, so he's not fussed on having it back, but it still does the job for when I need to get a little bit ahead and everybody else on the yard has already got the bigger equipment. So on the littler tractors and the 3 furrow works well for just keeping ahead of things, because what we've got is Belmont field, the long one, which I have had 2 years of barley on now. We're looking like that may come back as gladioli, which will be good. We've got irrigation mains down the side of the field, so there's a good couple of reasons to come back. But also Dad has already noticed, because I started yesterday, I got a little way along. You don't get cover much ground with 3 furrows, but it's enough to keep ahead of the game, especially when the 5 furrow is not available. So just park up a second. So because we've had 2 years of barley on it, having that stubble and different kind of like plant growth and different activity on it has actually done the soil a massive favour, because normally the family fields only ever get flowers and very rarely they get rented out to do cereals and the odd time potatoes. But of course I've come along with my little Massey 30 drill and said, Dad, can I do a bit of drilling? He's gone, yeah, go on then. And it's actually improved our rotation, because the fields where we've had barley on, already a massive improvement. I mean, you need look no further than the Keys field, and that was a bulker of a barley field. So we're going to get a second year on that, I believe. That might change, but we should get a second year on that Keys field, and that should be another good year, I'm hoping. But once he takes that back for his flowers, because of the difference in having something else on the soil, it introduces different bacteria and stuff like that. I'm not really much into soil sciences, but I get the gist of the microbiology. So I'm going to stop talking there, because I don't know enough about it to keep going on about microbiology, but it's introducing a difference which is then healthy for other plants. So it's the same with why a lot of people put beans, plant drill beans into soil, because that actually restores a lot of nitrogen, so they say. So it's just being clever with your rotation and stuff. So that's what we've done. I've come in, done my little barley on a couple of fields, and he's now starting to rotate me around. So setup wise, we've got the front furrow matching to our wheel width, rear two furrows more straight than the front. I think cut that bit out. Just running it in 4-wheel drive. You don't need the diff lock. I did when I started on the headland because that was harder and a bit wet, so I don't know how you can be hard and wet at the same time, but it was. So all I'm running is C range with the automatic side, but I've got it automatic so it only goes up to 3rd gear. So if I go into 4th, I then go to about 9k, and then just chucking topsoil at the bottom of the furrow. Doing a nice little wave like that. If I go any quicker, it starts throwing it up the wall. So I don't go any quicker than that. And then the furrow behind the skid is finishing it off and getting everything turned over and buried. I've got the main beam of the plough as well level as it should. And she's running on 4 draft, but I keep tweaking that a little bit just to make sure I'm still burying stuff, because it does ride out a little bit and then you start getting a little bit missed, but not by much. But directly on 4 is where I got it at the minute. It's working well. But compared to the New Hollands, this is nice and simple for this small little job to get on top of things. But the New Holland draft, I think, is a little bit better because it's on the quadrant here, whereas here I have to push the little button to activate, and then it's a little bit, yeah, it doesn't feel as natural, we'll say, which is, you know, it's neither here nor there, because I'm not having to do it too much. It's quite a small plough, tractor's more than man enough for it, and the soil conditions are pretty good. If a little bit wet on top, but not terrible. We're moist, that's all we are. But yeah, I'd just rather, like on the 10 series John Deere, I nearly put that on this to be fair, but it was on a trailer. You've got a dial about here, I think, which is your draft. Much prefer a more physical, I can grab that and react. I'm not so fussed on doing it through the screen, I'll be honest. Because if I get in a muddle, like with the 5 furrow, on the New Hollands, I just quickly pull the draft quadrant about here. I just pull it up and it lifts itself out but stays in the floor. On this, by the time I've gone into that, I'll have bugged myself, so I pretty much have to lift up if I get in a muddle. Or sometimes hit the diff and pray. As for the tractor, she's just 100 horsepower, 4-cylinder, 6230. And I would still consider this a modern tractor. She's a 12 plate, so she's 10-year-old now, but I'd still consider this modern. It's got up-to-date technology, but it's simple enough, you know, with manual spools, manual gearbox, but we have got electronic side of things, like through the electronic gearbox. And having that on an automatic is very nice, because when I was on that headland, that was dipping and diving between the gears a little bit, trying to apply the power as best it could. So for this job, this John Deere is perfect. Mate Luke. Well, change of plan. I'm now leaving the yard with a trailer full of bulbs for the boys down the tulip fields, because that is just the nature of farming, and sometimes you do just have to go stop everything and run about to make sure everything else runs smoothly. My ploughing isn't desperate. If it gets rained off today, it's not the end of the world. I'll just resume it later this week or even next week. So it's not a disaster, but it does make me feel a bit gutted, because it's like, oh, proper cushy job today, and now I'm on cart duty. But never mind. Cart duty ain't bad, but ploughing is just so much more satisfying. But off we go. Fully loaded, off we go. Good thing about karting, I suppose, is we needed a lot more bobs, so Simon's come back as well. So I get to go on this plough instead. Well, it's now 6:30. We've been on and off of this job all day, which is a shame. If I'd had a whole day, I'd probably completed this field hours ago, moved on to the other little one. Might have finished that as well. But that is the nature of farming. We duck and dive between different bits and pieces. And yeah, as it is. But been playing in the dark now for about 45 minutes. It's actually quite a different way of doing it, because you have to pay a lot more attention, but at the same time the lights sort of show off the shadows of your furrows, so you can actually see if you've got a high furrow easier or not, you could say. But yeah, we get to the end here, and that's it for today. I'm going home for my tea, and then I'm making a cake. So, thank you for watching Norfolkfords as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave us a comment on what we get up to. And we shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.